Her smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a saint, but if you push her, oh Lordy. A straight talker is Smiley. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can matter. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you want Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel fear.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. It is October 21st on Tuesday. I can't believe it. My goodness, my goodness. Hello, Janice. Hello, Millie. Welcome in, beautiful. Millie's going to get all beautied up today. She's getting her hair done, so she'll be in and out. Janice will be in and out. Everybody will be in and out, but that's okay. We're still here. Susan, hello, hello. Dawn Emery, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you guys this morning. I always say morning. Well, it is morning some places. It's 11 o'clock here. Dee, hello, hello. Good to see you. Dawn and Holly. Everybody coming in, thank you for being here. Mamaw, hello, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Funny Face Brenda. Oh, thank you, Funny Face Brenda. I forgot you haven't been here. I mean, I know you've been here in and out, but you probably didn't get to hear that. Miss Annie made that for me. I love that. She made it in several different styles. I got to get on there and change it up a little bit sometime. Thank you for that. Thank you. And thank you, Miss Annie, for that. Thank you, everybody, for being here in Blanc. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, everybody. Coming in. Wild Wolf. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Glad to see you. Glad to see everybody. Everybody, thank you for being here. Let's see who else we got here. I don't want to miss anybody. Don't want to miss anybody. I think I'm down at the bottom. I think I am. I think I am. I think I am. And I think I can. I think I am. You know, I really appreciate y'all joining me the last couple of days. I know it has been a long couple of days. I think it's good going back. I have some more that I want to go back on, but I'm not going to do it on this live. This live is about some evidence. This live is about some chain of custody and some stuff like that. And we're going to learn together. It's not going to be a long 7-hour anything live, but I do want you to know I am going to continue to go back. I'm going to come back on here tonight and do some more Sebastian. And we're going to do it. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm going to have to clean my house. I'm going to have to do that. But I wanted to come on here this morning and talk about this. We're going to talk about some evidence. But before I do that, I want to know, is all my people okay today? Is everyone doing okay and having a good day so far? Hey, Gypsy girl. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's a little bit cool outside. I'm liking this weather. I am liking this weather, honey. I am liking it. It feels good. It feels good. It feels good to me outside. I hope everybody's grabbed their coffee and tea, sweet tea, or whatever it is you got, and come in, and thank you for joining me. I hope everybody's doing well. We're going to talk about the lifeline of justice, and that's the chain of custody. Sometimes we forget that. Yeah, the weather's beautiful there. I bet it is. And all those leaves falling off the tree and turning colors. That's what I miss seeing. I just miss seeing the beauty of it. You can't take that beauty for granted. That's what I miss. You just grabbed your hot tea, Janice? Yeah, just grabbed your hot tea. You know, it's a little chilly out there. It is that hoodie weather, though, even in the morning times. Even in the morning times. It sure is. Pulled out the flannel shirt. 55 there. Yeah. I love all the nice weather. I do. And then you can get your little wood out and have your little fires. I don't know. It's just something about it. Something about that. Something about that. It rings a bell with me. I love it. It's cold there. Yeah, we always, but when it starts getting real cold and it starts that snow and it starts that ice and all that, the snow's pretty one time, 2 times maybe. But then we'd be like, oh, we want that sun to come out. And then when it gets hot, oh God, we want it cold. We want it to go away. Hey, Drew. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you, honey. Good to see you. Yeah, Tennessee, there's nothing more beautiful than a Tennessee fall. Nothing more beautiful. That's one thing. The colors change, the leaves change, they fall slowly. It's beautiful. It's just nothing like it. That's what I miss. That's the part I miss. Because you take all that for granted when you're younger, you know. Making the chili, making the beef stew, making all that stuff. And you can do that here, but it's just not the same. It's not the same. New England's pretty, I bet. satisfied with the weather. Yeah. Roasting on an open fire. Listen, it's going to be Christmas before we know it. Good Lord. Good golly, Miss Molly. Last year I didn't even have Christmas. I didn't put up a tree. I didn't think about it. That's when my mom I was up there and she passed away October, and all the things was going on and happening and back and forth. I don't know what I'm gonna do this time, but I imagine I'll have to do some things for my little grandchildren this year and do some things. But I can't believe that a whole year, over a year has passed since my mom's gone. I can't believe Christmas, this entire year is up on us again. I just can't. Where did the time go? Where did it go? Oh, Holly, thank you. Three days in a row. Yes, you did. You made it. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Holly, so much. This is going to be a little awareness. I don't know if you was in here just a minute ago, but this is going to be a little awareness. It won't be a 7 or 8 hour live. I was telling them I'm going to come back on. I'm going to clean my house today. After this, I'm going to clean my house, but and get some things done. But I'll come back on this evening and I'm going to do some more Sebastian this evening. I am going to do that. But this is going to be an educational video. I think it's very important. Not just a video. I have 2 videos, sorry. And my little Smiley style, whatever you want to call it. I think this is an important live, though. We can all get a little bit of education on it. And because it's important in the true crime, it's important, I think, if you're out there, no matter if you're in true crime or you're just a civilian that runs up on evidence, I think we need a refresher course. All of us do. What would you do? 7 hours and 30 minutes. Holly, that one. And then yesterday was over 8 hours. I was like, Jesus, Smiley, what? My mods was probably ready about to kill me. Yeah. I've never did that. I was talking about that 9-hour video that everybody's been doing here the last couple of days about stalking, because that is an important video, and I don't want to point it towards nobody, but I think that's an important video to get out and go over, just for the stalking reasons and bullying and stuff like that. But I was like, Smiley can never do a 9-hour live. I could never do that. Oh my God. And then here I was, 7 hours. And then here I was, 8 hours. So I might go over that one as well, but I'll have to get it together and get my own little spin on things, and but bring the truth with it. But I don't want to make it about nobody. I want to get those facts straight and out here right now. If I go over it, I don't want to do that. I want to get it about, what I want to do here is about truth, and I want to get it about education and about learning. I don't want to point fingers at nobody, okay? I don't want to do that here. I want us to learn from things here. That's just me. Good afternoon, Daffy. Hello, Jack of all trades. Hello. But before I keep on and everybody come in, y'all just come in and make yourself comfortable. The title of my show today is the line of justice. The lifeline. It's the lifeline of justice, chain of custody. And that is so true. We forget that sometimes. And we're going to be diving into it. And we're going to be diving into something that we all forget. And that really is something that decides. It decides the innocence in every single case, the innocence or the guilt, the chain of custody. It's not just the paperwork. It's the lifeline of the truth. And that is the truth. And we seem to forget that because a lot of people want to blame this, blame that, da 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 da. But you have to understand the chain of custody is the lifeline of justice. Every piece of evidence tells a story, but only if the chain of custody stays unbroken. And that's what we need to understand. And that's what we need a refresher on. And that's what I'm going to give you here today. Today, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the chain of custody. And I feel like this is important. And sometimes I like to go to the important side. Well, it's all important. But sometimes I like to go to the maybe educational side, whatever you want to call it, honey. We're here at Smiley's. You never know what you're going to get over at Smiley's, okay? But especially since a lot of us, not all the time, me in particular, but a lot of us is also on the ground, boots on the ground, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. It never hurts to go back and remember these things. It never hurts to get education on these things. You're never too smart to learn. Isn't that what I always say? And this is the kind of information that everyone needs, in my opinion. So let's try to understand this because it's so important. It's important to everyone. Even I feel law enforcement always needs a refresher on this. Civilians need a refresher on this. YouTubers need a refresher on this. It doesn't matter. Families need a refresher on this. Everybody does. So I was thinking of this morning and I'm like, we need to talk about this. And so we are going to talk about this. Smiley style. Okay. So we're also going to expose how evidence can be lost, tampered with, or ignored, and why just one missing signature or anything mislabeled, a bag or anything can destroy a family's hope for justice. Everything within evidence is important, always, 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 always. So welcome, everybody. Please join me, share this. Nobody's too smart. They don't know everything. And somebody might hear something that they need to know, or it might help them in the future. I don't know. Look, I don't know nothing. Smiley don't know nothing. Okay. But hit the thumbs up and we're going to start. But let's discuss this. If you don't know, and I can't believe everybody don't know, but if you don't know what chain of custody really means, it means real world cases. Okay. It means things you find, you get. It's how things are handled. It's evidence. And it changes everything. It can make or break any case, no matter what case it is. It can be physical, digital, blood. It can be anything like that. But we all know the truth has a trail, right? And it starts here, now. Chain of custody is the official record that tracks every single piece of evidence. Every single piece, y'all. From the moment it is found at the crime scene or any scene, they should be taking everything in correctly. Everything. And they should be recording it correctly so it can be showed, or if it needs to be showed in a court of law, it will be preserved. It's like a paper trail of truth. Every fingerprint, every photo, every weapon, every DNA sample, it must have a record. Who collected it, when, where, what was found, all of those things. How it was handled, how it was stored, how it was transferred, how it was tested, all the things. How it was handled, by the way, has to be done very, very, very carefully and correctly and on point. And at no time, there's no room for error. There's no room for mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're all human, but there's no room for mistakes here. If one step in that chain is missing, just one, or someone forgets to sign or sign a record or a handoff, or the entire everything of evidence can be thrown out, meaning justice could just walk. It could walk right out that door. Gone. Just gone. Somebody could be set free. Evil can be set free and walk among us. So when investigators talk about preserving the chain of custody, they're talking about protecting the integrity of the truth. They're talking about making, no mistakes. They have to preserve the evidence. No one can claim that something was tampered with. They have to make sure of that. They have to make sure nothing was switched and nothing was contaminated. Because if they don't do it and do it right and take the time, it can be thrown out because they're going to holler it was contaminated. Hello, everybody coming in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. That's one thing you want and you don't want at the same time. Let me explain. You want truth, you want integrity, but what you don't want at the same time is you don't want contamination, and you don't want it to be thrown out, period. So I hope that made sense. Let me repeat that again. There's two things you want at the same time. The one thing you want and you don't want. Okay, you want truth and you want integrity, right? But you don't want contamination and you don't want it to be thrown out. So look, just do your job right. Doesn't matter who you are. Hey, Panda Bear's mom. Hello, hello, hello. Look, most people never think about it, but it decides justice in every single case. Most people don't think about it that way. They think, okay, it's the jury, it's the judge, it's the this, it's the that. But you got to preserve the evidence. The evidence has to be there. The evidence matters. The evidence goes to the jury. The jury relies on the evidence. The judge has to go by with the evidence, the laws. It's either in or out. Period. Most people never think about it that way. It's called chain of custody, and we all forget that. All of us. We forget about that little part. Now, that might sound like a courtroom thing, courtroom talk, mumbo jumbo. Well, I guess it is. But let me break it down in Smiley style then. Y'all understand Smiley style? It's really just the story of evidence. From the second it's picked up off the ground or wherever, off the floor, the ceiling, the ground, taken from a sample, put in a bag, from the minute the second is taken, eventually it shows up in front of a judge, a jury, wherever. It should be a paper trail that says exactly who touched it, when they touched it, where it went, and how it was stored. That's what keeps the truth pure. Simple. That's what keeps the truth pure. It's what stops anyone from saying, "Oh, that wasn't the same item," or that got switched, or that's not the same thing. Every fingerprint, every photo, every fiber, every piece of grass, everything you pick up, anything. It has to have a signature, a timestamp, accountability, and a name attached to it, properly stored. Because if one piece goes missing, or some dumbass throws it in the car or the trunk and says, "I'll do it later," because they're lazy or they're tired or their feet hurt or whatever, that don't work. You can hang it up. Even if 12 people did their job right, or 50 people did their job right, or 5 people did their job right, and you got one asshole who's lazy, that evidence is gone. It's ruined. There's no room for error. There's no room for people like that. Because if one piece goes missing, or one officer forgets to log it, or don't log it, or if one bag gets opened without a record, guess what? The entire piece of evidence can be thrown out in the court of law. And believe me, the other side will try. They'll try their best. That means a guilty person could walk free, no matter what the guilt charge is, no matter how big, no matter how small, no matter how horrible. Or a family member might never get justice, all because the chain was broken. That's not what you want. That's not what I want. We all want justice, right? We're all here for the same thing, right? See, that's why I call this lifeline of justice. You break the chain and justice stops breathing. It just does. So when we ask questions about how evidence was handled, cases like Sebastian Rogers or Summer Wells, we're not being dramatic. We're being responsible. Because every child, every victim deserves that chain to stay intact. From collection to the courtroom. No matter what, no matter who collected it. Now, I want to ask y'all something. I want to ask you something from the heart. Should families, do you think, and if it was your family, and maybe you have, maybe you haven't, I don't know. But should families, especially families of the victims, and I'm asking both sides, but should families of the victims be allowed to talk to look at the chain of custody logs. Now, before you answer, think about it. Listen, I'm not saying get touchy-feely with no evidence. I'm not saying mess with evidence. I'm not saying let them. I'm talking about the logs, the books. I agree, Daffy. Should not be able to touch the evidence. That should be locked up. Physical evidence should be locked somewhere. But I think everybody should be able to look at the logs. And by the way, wouldn't that come into discovery later on? I say, if you don't have anything to hide, you don't hide nothing. And I'm not getting on to the police here today. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think that the log book should be an open book. And I think families, they already live with the unknown. They're told to trust the process. But how can you trust the process if you can't even see the process? If you can't see it. Now, some people may not want to see it, and that's fine. But I think if you want to see it, that should be you. I think families should be to touch, but I do believe the family should be able to. Yeah, not to touch. After it's logged, bagged, tagged, whatever, it should be locked away until court date, if it ever comes to that. But as far as it should be a paper trail, photos, and if the family wants to see that, I think, or the victims want to see that, I think they should have every right. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But if you have nothing to hide nothing. I just think it's up to you. When I conducted drug screens, chain of custody is a must. Absolutely, funny face, Brenda. Drug screens should especially drug screens. And that's something simple, but absolutely they should be. Well, I'm not saying it's simple. Those definitely should be monitored and chain of custody. And we all know, honey, how they can get through with those. But yes, they absolutely should be. Hey, Mimi Jean. Hello. But yeah, I think that. I could be wrong. And the same with the drug screens. I think it should be an open book. I think they should see, even on out to the lab, if you want to have proof of that, if they need to email you the reports or whatever, even if you have to pay for them, I think you should be able to do that. A lot of times you can't see things, and it deserves answers there as well in my eyes anyway. That's what I think. I'm gonna put on. Why's my phone even? Stop. Spam. I ain't supposed to have no spam on my phone. Stop it. But yeah, let's watch a video. I got 2 little videos. Let's watch a video here. Let's see. Hold on a minute. What does this say? 6 months today. Bless him. I wish he could be found. I wish all these kids could be found soon, soon, soon. Many prayers, many prayers. 6 months. Boy, I'm telling you what. I don't know where the time goes. I just don't. It's sad. It's sad. All right, let's watch this video.
And public records. Let's get started.
What is the purpose of chain of custody? Have you ever wondered how evidence is handled in a criminal case? The concept of chain of custody plays a vital role in ensuring that evidence remains reliable and trustworthy throughout the legal process. So, what exactly is the purpose of chain of custody? At its core, the chain of custody serves to maintain a documented record of how evidence is collected, handled, and stored. This record begins the moment evidence is gathered at a crime scene and continues until it is presented in court. It is essential for proving that the evidence has not been tampered with or altered in any way. When law enforcement officers or crime scene investigators collect evidence, they must document everything. This includes the exact location where the evidence was found, its condition, and how it was collected. Photographs, sketches, and written descriptions are often used to create a clear picture of the evidence. Each piece is tagged with a unique identifier to prevent confusion. Every person who handles the evidence must also be recorded. This includes noting the date, time, and purpose of each transfer. By doing this, a clear trail is created, showing who had control of the evidence at all times. This is particularly important for county district attorney offices, as they relying on this information to build their cases. Evidence must be stored securely in controlled environments, such as police evidence rooms or forensic laboratories. Access to this evidence is limited to authorized personnel only. This helps prevent unauthorized handling or
I will say this. So, in those type of rooms, controlled, you go in, sign in, yada, yada, yada. Makes you wonder how things go missing in there. I'm just saying, if anybody's got any answers, please feel free. If there's anybody that knows, please feel free to say, because controlled environment, sign-ins, this, that, and that. Again, I'm not here down the police. Things happen. Human errors happen. But just by what she said, again, that just really makes you wonder, don't it? Don't it?
or tampering, which could compromise the integrity of the evidence. When evidence needs to be transferred between individuals or agencies, proper procedures must be followed. Each transfer is documented, including a verification of the evidence's condition upon receipt. This ensures that the evidence remains intact and reliable throughout the process. Forensic analysis is another critical aspect of the chain of custody. Strict protocols must be followed during testing to ensure that the evidence remains uncontaminated and unchanged. This is essential for maintaining the credibility of the evidence when it is presented in court. If the chain of custody is broken or incomplete, it can lead to serious consequences. Gaps in documentation or handling can result in the evidence being challenged by the defense. This may lead to the evidence being deemed unreliable or inadmissible in court, which can significantly weaken the prosecution's case. The chain of custody applies not only to physical evidence, like weapons or clothing, but also to digital evidence, such as emails or computer files. The same principles of documentation and secure handling are crucial for ensuring that digital data remains unaltered.
Hey, Raymond, good to see
In
you.
summary, the purpose of the chain of custody is to create a transparent and verifiable record that preserves the authenticity of evidence from the moment it is collected until it is presented in court. This process is vital for supporting the fair administration of justice and ensuring that the legal system functions effectively.
To learn more, check out these links, which you can click in the description below. And feel free to comment your questions. We're here to help.
Want the inside scoop on your
Okay, I'm going to leave that up because we'll go back to one more video on that in just a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's very important, and a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, think about it. That log in the timeline is truth. It's truth. Who handled it, the evidence, where it went, it all comes down to that. Who signed it off, why, when, where, who, what, who looked away. I mean, it's important. Seriously. It's important. It's important to the families. It's important to the victims. And sometimes we just forget that. Families already live with the unknown. The unknown. The unknown can kill you. The stress. How can you trust what you can't see? That's hard. I believe transparency builds trust. And if the evidence was handled right and there's nothing to hide, if it's nothing tampered with or anything like that, or you're not protecting someone, then it shouldn't be a problem. It should all be right there in the call log, or in the, I'm going to call it a call log probably, but it's the log. But let the family see it. Let them know. It brings them a little bit of peace of mind, maybe, if they want to see it, but treat it with integrity just as well. If they choose to, again, some of them may not choose to. Again, it don't mean the feely, touchy stuff, getting the evidence. No, that shouldn't be done. That should never be compromised. Never. But in my opinion, again, you have every right to look at those. And again, like I said, will that not be a part of discovery later on? Do you think that the system, y'all, hides too much behind policy? Because I do. It's funny how they break other rules. Rules are made to be broken, some rules. But I think they hide behind things too much when it's convenient for them. And again, I'm not here bashing the cops, because this whole thing is for everybody. Civilians that go out and may find evidence to be a reminder of how important it is not to pick up things. For any creators, people out there in the field, boots on the ground, all the things. It's just a reminder, all the things. But because to me, the chain of custody shouldn't belong to the courtroom, just belong to the courtroom. It should belong to justice, right? And justice belongs to the families. That's how I see it. So that's one way to think about it, in my opinion, of course. You know what breaks my heart the most is when evidence, something that could have told the truth, just gets lost, gets gone, just gets gone. Like Candace said with Summer, Just gone. I mean, let that sink in for a minute. A piece of clothing, a camera card, some kind of maybe a phone collected, a piece of paper from blood work, something, swab, just gone. Just gone. Disappeared. Nobody knows. Well, where did it go? Where did it go? That breaks my heart, one. And how did it get lost? In my opinions, records are so important. Photos, chains of custody, all that. All that, if it was done right in the first place, is important. Look, things happen. We're all human. Mistakes are made. Nobody knows that better than me. But let's back up plans. Let's use notes. Let's use photos of the photos of the photos. Notes of the notes of the notes of the photo. Backups that are made aloud in court. And that means the difference between justice and walking free, in my opinion, where it means bringing cases to the grand juries, where it means all of these things. Let's do that. When evidence is lost, families don't lose evidence. They lose hope forever. Well, sometimes forever. Because once evidence is lost, you can't go back and recreate. You can't go back and retake photos. You can't go back and collect DNA. You can't go back. You can't turn back time. Don't I always say that? I know I have. I do it all the time with Happy. Have you ever been wanting to make a photo and you don't have your camera on or whatever, because some people don't stage stuff, I'm just saying. And you go, oh my God, shh, and go over there and tiptoe and you try to get your camera and turn it on real quick. And, that look is gone. Everything's gone. Well, hell, I can't make something that's done happened and passed exactly like it was before. I don't care how good of a, and I'm not a creator, I'm not saying me, but I don't care how good of a creator you are, how much you create. I don't care how good the web is. You can't create. You can't recreate time. You can't do it. So something needs to be done. I think evidence was lost in Sebastian's case. I'm just saying. To hear tell. Not saying all of it was. I'm just saying. No proof of that. Probably lost in hundreds and thousands of cases. Why? And the system calls it human error. It's out there. They call it human error. And we all are human. We do make mistakes. But this, you cannot afford to make a mistake. These families, they feel betrayed. Do you do something and it takes somebody's life and you're like, oh, well, that's just a mistake? We got to start looking at things differently in life. It's ugly out there. I know people don't like ugly and to look at ugly all the time, but it is. We're humans. We make mistakes. Who gets to choose what mistakes are okay and what's not? Hell, I made a mistake of making a fucking phone call one time. That was a complete accident. An accident on making a phone call is a lot different than making a mistake on somebody who who breaks the chain of evidence, and it can't go to court and ruin somebody's total case in life, and a SK or a unaliver or a person who does things to women or children go free. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super sticker. There's a difference, honeys. Who gets to decide this? Laws need to be changed on this. These are the type of things that mistakes can't be made on. There have been cases all across this country where the outcome changed because evidence is missing. Sometimes it's misplaced in storage. That's why I say take a photo of the photo of the photo, a snapshot of the snapshot of the snapshot, and allow that in court. I'm just saying. With all this technology today, there has to be a way. That's just my thoughts and opinions. Sometimes it's because it's misplaced in storage. Sometimes it's tagged wrong. That's an error that cannot be afforded. Sometimes it's destroyed by accident. What? Why is it destroyed by accident? Why? Why? You know? Hey, honey, everybody coming in, welcome. But no matter what happened, the result ends up the same. It always does. The truth is buried within. Every lost item is a lost voice. Every missing file is a missing answer. And every broken chain weakens the chain of custody and justice forever, y'all. When we talk about custody, remember, it's not about the paperwork. It's not. It's about protecting what cannot speak for itself, the victims. Don't matter what victims it is. It don't matter who it is, big, old, young, small, fat, skinny, black, white, green, orange, purple, gay, straight. It don't matter. A victim is a victim is a victim. Evidence don't lie, though. If the evidence is lost, once the evidence lost, the truth goes out the window, and it goes quietly. Do y'all ever think about, because we have a lot of people on the ground, like, and some are trained, some are not, some just want to help. Maybe you might just be a civilian, again, walking your dog, just a regular person. You never know what you're going to come up on. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any of that. Everybody wants to help, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I want to help. Hey, everybody coming in. Thank you for being here. But have you ever thought about what if you really stumbled up on something out there? What if you really did? Some people bullshit. Some people be walking in circles talking about they found this, they found pants, they found the underwear, they found the this, they found the that. I ain't talking about that. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Smiley said stop it. Go tell them Smiley said stop it, okay? We ain't talking about that. We're talking about real shit here. We're talking about if you really found something. Now, if you really found a shoe, you didn't know. Now, maybe some kids might pick up a shoe, but listen, we got to think about this a little bit differently, okay? Have you ever thought about if you really found something, no matter who you are, no matter how experienced you think you are, even if you're not experienced, even if you're not looking, or if you are looking, because we got a bunch of people that do go out looking. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But what if you stumbled up out in a field or on a sidewalk, in a ditch, whatever, you was walking your dog on something that could be evidence? I mean, do you just walk on by? Not if you're a good person, but anyway, if you happen up on that, and it happens more than people think, it happens all over this country more than people realize. Sometimes it's reported in the news, sometimes it's not. But people are out there taking walks, their dogs for a walk, jogging on trails. It happens across this country every day. They find a shoe, they find a phone. They think, oh, maybe somebody, let me pick it up. Maybe somebody just lost their phone. We need to turn it in. Has anybody ever done that? I ain't gonna lie. I've did that too. Oh, somebody dropped this. Let me turn it into the front desk. Honey, Smiley ain't gonna be doing that no more. I'm just talking about in my lifetime. I ain't talking about recently. But yeah, it's hunting season. Absolutely. Hey, Thomas. But we've all done it. Or somebody's took a stick and did this, that, and other. Well, your skin sheds too. I just want to remind y'all about that. Your skin sheds. But maybe a piece of clothing, and I ain't talking about in the parking lot. Hold on a minute. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can see this. Hold on. I don't know if y'all can see this. This is Smiley's face right now.
Just creators, be very, very careful. Only use the studio music. And
I was like, just. Honey, I'm talking about real stuff, not stuff that makes me go, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, honey. Sometimes I get that. I can't even get words out. Just saying. I'm talking about the real stuff you might come across. It happens, people. It happens. Okay? But anyway, in that very moment, what you do next matters. It matters more than anything. You do not touch it. I'm just reminding you, don't touch it. Do not move it. you do not take it anywhere. Okay? Don't take it home. Don't take it for no show and tell, honey. Okay? Don't take it for no show and tell. We don't need to play those games. We all adults. Teach your kids don't touch it either. Tell them you'll play show and tell another day. Okay? You'll buy them something to play show and tell with if they ever come across something like that. Run and get you. Okay? Just breaking it down to you. But do not move it. Do not move it. Get somebody, okay? Because the minute you touch it, you can destroy DNA. You can destroy fingerprints. And you can actually transfer your own fingerprints on there. And you're breaking that chain of custody even before that chain of custody begins. So step right on away, back up, take a photo. You know your cameras go in and out, honey. Take a photo if you can, if you got a picture, if you got a phone or something with you, okay? You can drop that little pin in your location in your phone and remember how to get back there if you don't remember how to get back there. Some of you's got a short memory. I know I do. I ain't saying nothing about that, honey. You know, pin your location and call 911 immediately. That means ASAP, okay? And, you know, let the investigators handle it from there, because that's how the chain starts. Clean, documented, protected. Whatever you do, please don't touch it. Please, please, please don't touch it. It may not be anything, but that's their job to figure out if it is or if it is not. Yeah. Dumpster diving. Yeah. 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 I think we all better rethink that. Just saying. But if I pray for anything else, I pray that somebody out there who is seeing this or whatever listens, because there's somebody out there that that don't touch it, that needs to know. If you come up on something, that may be the piece of puzzle that's nothing to you, but it may be everything to them that gets their justice for them or for their family or closure for them. And it may be nothing to you, but that nothing may be everything in the world to them. Everything. See, a lot of people, they just want to help and their hearts are in the right place. But helping doesn't always mean touching. Sometimes it means preserving. Because that one time that you overlook, that one thing in a field, that could be the key to solving a case. It could be finding a missing person or giving the family answers they have been begging for. So if you ever stumble upon something out there somewhere, anywhere, it can be in the plain sight and people's just walked right on across it. Either because they chose to, or they really honestly did not see it, or because it was just moved. Don't break that chain. Don't break that chain. That's how you help. Just breathe and keep breathing and don't break that chain. Let's watch this other video. It's the same credit to this same person right here. Okay? We're going to watch this one.
your ultimate guide to local government services and public records. Let's get started.
What is the consequence of losing evidence in chain of custody? Have you ever wondered what happens when evidence goes missing in a legal case?
Thank you,
The
Raymond.
concept
Whoever
of
got
chain
that,
of
please thank
custody is
Raymond.
essential in the justice system, especially for county district attorney offices. This process ensures that evidence remains intact and reliable throughout a trial. Losing evidence or failing to document its handling can lead to serious consequences. First, let's talk about suppression of evidence. If the chain of custody is broken, courts may decide to exclude that evidence from the trial. For example, if biological samples are misplaced or not stored correctly, a judge might rule them inadmissible. This is because the prosecution cannot prove that the evidence has not been tampered with.
Hello, welcome.
Next, we have the issue of inadmissibility at trial. When there is no clear chain of custody, evidence loses its legal weight. Even if the evidence is found later, gaps in documentation can create reasonable doubt about its authenticity. Imagine a drug package that has a broken seal or missing transfer records. Such evidence might be considered unreliable and could be barred from being presented to the jury. Another major consequence is the undermining of the
I
prosecution's
am
case.
so sorry,
If critical evidence is
Leslie.
excluded,
My heart
it
goes
weakens
out
the
to you, honey.
prosecution's ability to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. In some cases, if the lost evidence was vital to the case, charges might even be dismissed. This can be a huge setback for the justice system. From the perspective of county district attorneys, errors in the chain of custody force them to relying on weaker evidence or witness testimonies. This can lead to lower conviction rates. To avoid these issues, proper evidence handling protocols are prioritized. This includes using sealed containers, tamper-proof labels, and digital tracking systems. Practical steps include training law enforcement on documentation standards and using forensic technology to automate custody logs. For trial advocacy, prosecutors need to address potential custody disputes by verifying records and preparing expert testimony to authenticate evidence. In summary, losing evidence not only risks case dismissal but also harms public trust in the justice system. Maintaining a proper chain of custody is essential for ensuring that evidence remains admissible and reliable in court.
To learn more, check out these links, which you can click in the description below. And feel free to comment your questions. We're here to help.
I tried to leave it up there long enough so y'all could see the links if you wanted them, but you can go over and sub, and there's plenty of videos out there on this. Good morning, Laura. Hello, 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 everybody coming in. Welcome. And Leslie, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. My heart goes out to you, honey. I know how them pets, how much they mean to us in our heart. Hello, Blue Angel, everyone coming in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. But we all just need to remember that this is a lifeline, a change of custody, and just don't break it. When law enforcement arrives, what they should be doing, they should be securing the area. They should make sure that no one else is close enough to contaminate anything. They should photograph everything, any items or anything like that that's around. They should make sure nothing is touching it. They should collect everything, label everything in the evidence bags using their gloves and the proper bags, actually, and then they should tag it. They should log it immediately. Whoever collected it, sign it, date it, the time, the exact GPS coordinates, and what condition it is in. They have to sign it and transfer it on the evidence form, and that's where it all begins at. Every bit of it begins there. It has to have accountability. Every time that changes hands, any evidence changes hands after that from that one person, it don't matter if it goes to the lab, to the investigators, to the prosecutors, to the court, to the jury, it does not matter. For the integrity of that, it has to be signed for, and anybody handling it, touching it, whatever, it has to be accounted for and signed for. But here's where sometimes things go wrong. If officers don't log it in right away, or they move it, and not just officers, anybody, but if officers don't, that's where it starts. So if officers don't log it in right away, or if they move it without the photos, or even worse, they maybe just throw it in their trunk or their car or whatever and say, I'll get to it later. Good God, y'all. Have you ever had your child or somebody say, sweep the floor or make up your bed, and then it's 2 hours later? I mean, really, by that time it's time to go to bed. Well, no, that don't work. Well, what good is that? That don't work. Well, it don't work in chain of custody, especially. It's too important, and that's laziness, in my opinion. And that can get thrown out of court. That can get thrown out in the long run. It can get thrown out months later, years later down the road. You got to preserve it. You got to do what you do. And if you don't like what you do, find another job, in my opinion. So anyway, that's where it can start going wrong. If evidence is just thrown in a car, not labeled right, not signed correctly, and put aside and said, I'll do it later. And that's when the lawyers say, we can't use that. We can't prove where it's been. That's where all that comes in. Then they want to say it's no good. And I can't say that they're doing anything wrong. I can't say that I blame them. And if I was in a court of law, I would do the same thing. And if I was sitting in that chair, my defense attorney better darn well say the same thing and try to get everything thrown out. Just saying. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. But again, no room for errors in this. So I always say this. The moment a citizen finds something, or anybody else, the moment law enforcement responds, the most important, significant thing for justice, either you got to protect it or it's gone. Do your job. Do what you're supposed to do. Do the right thing. Because if everyone does their part, the person who reports it, the officers who collect it, the chain of custody, the truth can finally come out and make its way to court, and justice can finally be served. But when they don't, that's when faith in the system breaks. So let's keep reminding everybody, every step matters, every step counts, every signature matters, every chain link matters on that chain, because it's a heartbeat for justice. It's the truth. And that's what we all stand for, right? The truth, justice. We all need a reminder. You know what gets me? It's when the procedure we just talked about and all that gets ignored. Because when it fails, justice breaks. It don't just bend, it breaks. There's been so many times when evidence gets left sitting in a car for days, tossed, I don't know, tossed in a jacket, never logged. Somebody forgets to write down something, or they don't use their brain. They don't slow down. They're scared they're going to miss something. They're scared they have to be number one. They have to be first. Or they're trying to climb up a ladder here, there, or anywhere. I'm speaking. I'm talking about hospitals too. Listen, this pertains to anybody and everybody chain of custody, okay? Justice. And it can get thrown out. Poof, gone. The truth needs a voice, not laziness. Sometimes the blood sample that never gets to the lab, poof, erased, gone. Don't know what happened. Sometimes it's surveillance, a video gets erased. Accidentally, of course. Sometimes it's a phone, can't find it, can't unlock it, can't. Can't never could do nothing, could it? Can't never could do nothing. When a chain of custody is broken, defense attorneys can argue again and again. Evidence was tampered with, contaminated, and it's no good, and the judges will throw it out. So please pay more attention, be more aware. That's why a chain of custody and the lifeline of the chain of custody is so important for justice. If that chain snaps, justice suffocates, it's gone. You just smothered it. We can't bring victims back. We can't rewind the time. We can't turn back time. But we can recommend accountability, especially from the ones who is sworn to protect us and tell the truth. Because paperwork does matter, signatures does matter, timestamps does matter. Being more aware with any of us does matter, no matter who we are. We just got to be more careful, more considerate of victims, or who could be a potential victim. We don't have to know if anybody's a victim. That goes in hospitals, that goes in law offices, that goes anywhere. Schools, CPS. You never know. Grocery stores, managers, cop comes to talk. You don't ever know, okay? Just be more aware. Be more aware of your surroundings. Because when the process fails, it's not just a mistake. It's a message. And the message said, we don't protect our truth. We don't protect your truth. Somebody's got to protect the victims. And that's why we keep speaking out. You know, after everything we talked about, from collecting evidence to losing evidence, to what happens, it all comes back to one truth. Justice only survives if the chain stays unbroken. 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 That chain's got to stay unbroken. And the chain of custody, the lifeline, is a promise. It matters. A promise that the truth will be protected no matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter what the case looks like. And when that chain breaks, it's over. You're riding on a wing and a prayer. It's not just a system error. It's a family's heartbreak, because behind every evidence log is a story. A story behind every log is a life, and every life matters, in my opinion. We all can do better. We must do better. And it's time for transparency, accountability, and reform. So no family ever has to wonder what happened, so the truth can come out, so they can be free. So every law enforcement officer watching, every advocate, every mother, every father still waiting for answers, I see you. We see you. We're not here to tear you down. We're not here to tear down justice. We're here to rebuild, to dive back in, to bring hope back. Hope is getting crushed every day, y'all. Every day. Hearts are shattered every day. And we all want the same thing: justice, due process. The lifeline of justice is trust, and trust starts within truth. Remember this: protect the chain, protect the truth, protect the families. Because here at Smiley's World, we stand for all of that. I do. I stand for the ones who can't speak, who can't fight, the ones who were silenced. And I will never stop here. The missing needs a voice. And I just thank you for listening. Just remember those important things today. And I will see you in the streets. YouTube streets, that is. YouTube streets, that is. I've got to go clean my house. I thank you all for being here. I thank you for your support. Let me go back here. Holly, Kimberly, thank you. And Raymond, thank you. And welcome new members. Let me get up here. Whoop, go back. Thank you, new members. Thank you, subs. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody. See, I didn't keep y'all 7 and 8 hours. I love you all. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you again this afternoon sometime, okay? Y'all go enjoy your day. Thank you for being here. Love you all. Bye.